Welcome to Turrican 2, the final fight, aka sequel to Turrican, released originally to Computer Amiga at 1991 and made by very much German team and going in and being more part of, you could say, a cult classic game instead of really fancy. Of course, might be because of the original platform, which was a computer instead of console, so it in a sense lacked, you could say, strong identity as itself. But let's just start this. The basic plot is simple. Evil emperor called the Machine attacks ship Avalon 1, which is investigating Aldebaran, the galaxy. There's one survivor, Bren Maguire, who decides to goes to avenge his killed comrades, and to do that he wears the Turrican suit, which is very effective power suit. That's the basic plot. But gameplay is simple. You run around, you jump, you have this beam you shoot, which is, you could say, it might be the, you could say, the signature ability. Then you can do this kind of beam attack. Some enemies can be jumped upon, and there's also that kind of smartphone move, which allows you to just spaz around screen, shooting everything with a big kaboom in the end. But the basic gameplay is quite simple. You run around big stages. You try to avoid being hit. You gather all kinds of these kind of crystals. You gather one-ups. You gather all kind of things you need to not fail. There's a time limit, which is, you could say, quite, which is not too strict, but it can be. It's something like a, the makers knew, the Germans knew what they were trying to imitate, or what they were imitating, you could say, not trying to imitate, but obviously imitating. They were imitating Metroid, but they still had to follow, or were still clinging into all kinds of arcade game conventions, like much stricter level control and much stricter level division, and of course time limits and all that. The basic gameplay is, you could say, and of course the fact that you basically don't get any new abilities over the game. Everything you have is very much right from the get-go. But there's nothing wrong with that kind of gameplay, which I feel that Turrican had a quite good opportunity to become a really good, strong classics, and it succeeded. Well, it succeeded. It got all kinds of ports, and hell, it's got it's got Turrican flashback collection about 30 years after its inception, so it's not bad. And this is the starting weapon. Basically shoots lots of beam as a shotgun, but the port has one thing the original didn't have, so you just have to take my word for it, that when you shoot this beam attack, in original you could duck and turn around fast, but in this one you can't do that move. I don't know why it happened like that, but it did happen. And of course the Turrican's beam attack is, you could say, very effective, powerful move in your ears. And of course, and there's also the fact that killed enemies remain dead. They don't respawn, which is a real nice, you could say, technical thing about the game. Makes it much more capable of wandering around. This is actually quite. This is actually quite a. Will be, well, it takes more than one episode, but it's still gonna be quite short one. Yeah, and all these bonus side areas usually contain crystals or one extra lives, both which are needed. And of course, one thing which makes Turrican, especially Turrican 2, which I think might be the best of them all, because it got the mixed well, although there was still 2 more Turrican games. The Turrican 3, which in some ways is called Mega Turrican, that was on Sega Mega Drive, that's why it's called Mega Turrican, and Super Turrican on Super Nintendo, which in a sense were technically much more complicated, but it doesn't really matter. 4 games in total, same guys, Germans, and the first boss. Bosses in this game are not particularly scary because of stop jumping around so I can. Because of this, I can just aim my beam at the weak spot if it's long enough and just wipe them out in a blink of an eye. Quite badly balanced that way, that beam attack. But I think which might also explain why it never appears again in such a completely overpoweringly efficient manner. And the bounce attack, bounce ball.
Power up.
I don't know what the hell makes it, but it feels like occasionally these controls act up. I don't know what causes that. It's some sort of work in this game's programming or what. Damn it. There was a chance for me to get some extra goodies, but it really didn't work out so well. It might be some kind of strange quirk about it. Because at this moment I can't duck. Which is not that big of an issue, but it's still quite handy ability to have, which you need to be. Oh, well, I can. Oh yeah, the porting system feels to be, you could say, buggy. But if you, but which is annoying, to say the least. But it's still. Yeah, well, it doesn't tell about the quality of the original games, because I have played this on Amiga itself. It much more tells about the quality of the port, which I think might have been quite a bit difficult. Oh yeah. Yeah. But the spin solve ability feels something like they copied it from Metroid, but they didn't really have ability or talent to implement it perfectly. But there's one thing which in this game everybody has always agreed. With respect, the composer and the guy who made the sound is a damn good, was damn fine man. The music in this game is absolutely brilliant. I mean, in 16-bit era, this is one of the best. They follow different kind of musical genres. They set up, they just build moods so well to this game, which it's not often that this high quality, that the game actually is mostly remembered because of from its music, not from the gameplay trickeries or anything like that. That in my book is quite rare. The game is remembered specifically from its music, not specifically from its visual designs or gameplay trickeries or anything like that. But no, it's the music that this game is remembered, which tells something about how good quality stuff it is. Oh yeah, but the general level of difficulty in Turrican 2 is actually quite mild. It's got challenging parts and you do get killed quite easily, but it's not too difficult. And here's a second boss, the secret boss. That with his long beam dies in seconds. Yep, bosses follow pattern and are very easily killed. Once you figure out the pattern and don't play your own game. Oh yeah, and in the spinball mode you can even drop bombs, which are just... which are fancy trick which were, but the actual value is quite nothing. It's just something, it just feels that the Germans, yeah, I just like to refer to them as Germans because, well, German makers knew what kind of things they wanted to put into this game, but the level design and all that really wasn't able to make use of all these abilities Turrican has. Of course, it does make use of the jumping and shooting part, especially the jumping part. But of the other abilities, beam attacks and all that, the game really does not make so much use of them. Well, which is kind of sad because this game's styling and all that is not bad at all. It's kind of sad that this game became more or less forgotten once the 64 era was ending. There's never been any kind of attempt to do a franchise by anybody, which, in a sense, would not. Well, it would be. Well, if it now it would be done, it would be some kind of. It would feel, if it were nowadays done, it would very much feel, it would have to be done ripping off Metroid franchise in gameplay stylings and all that, because hey, it's space opera, it's a person wearing a suit and all that. And that was also a boss. Bosses don't have any names. They just appear as boss, and all of them have their own musical cues, which is real fancy. And of course, there's also the fact that stages followed all kinds of different themes, which is to say desert stages, which were the original nice starting to the game have been over, so it's now time to start tackle the cave system in the next episode. See ya there.